So far we've been talking about expressions, right? An equation now is going to have an expression equal to an expression, okay? So it's taking the things we've been working with and setting it up so that things are equal, okay? Equation. So a math sentence with an equal sign is an equation. If something is an open sentence, that is an equation that has one or more, any ideas?
Answers.
No, that's a good guess. Variables. Okay. So an open sentence just means there will be some value for this variable that we're working with. So with an equation, it can be that your equation is true. It can be that your equation is false, or it can be that your equation is open, meaning there's some solving that can happen and then we end up with x equals something, right? So take a look at this letter A. If you were to simplify that, what would it be? Sorry, what would the values be? What equals what?
42 equals
42 is equal to 42. That is always true, right? 42 will always equal 42, so that's true. Take a look at B. 7 times 8 is?
50.
56. They're saying 56 equals 54. It does not, so that is false. So when it is absolutely true, you say true. When it is absolutely not true, you say false. When there is a variable in it that we would have to then solve for, that's an open equation because there can be one value or sometimes there's multiple values for your variable. We are going to focus on one value for your variable most of the time. Every now and then two, but most of the time there will be one value. But I am going to show you some situations where there's an infinite number of values or there are no values that work as well. But I would say majority of your life in Algebra 1 is spent finding one solution for a variable, okay? So what would D be?
Open.
That's open because it has a variable in it. Letter E, 9 equals 9 is true. And this last one, 4 does not equal 6, so false. Okay, so true, false, and open are your 3 options there. Okay, so you are going to get situations where they're going to give you an open equation and they're going to say, does this work? Is this an option? Is x equals 6 an option, a solution to the equation 32 equals 2x plus 12? How do you check that? You plug it in. So we're going to say 36 equals 2 times 6 plus 32. You're right. Good job. 32 equals 2 times 6 plus 12. Is that a solution to this equation? No. 32 does not equal 12 plus 12 or 24, right? So is that a solution? We would say no and leave all this work here so I can see why, because I'm not just saying 50-50 guess. What is it? I want to know why is it not? This is why it's not, right? Because we showed you what we did. All right, so try B. Is m equals 1/2 a solution to 6m minus 8 equals negative 5? It's all good. I don't mind you sharing your opinion on it. Whoops. Okay, tell me what this worked out to for you. What equals what in the end?
Negative 5 equals
Negative
negative 5.
5. So you plug the 1/2 in. 6 times 1/2 minus 8 equals negative 5. Half of 6 is 3. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. So negative 5 equals negative 5. That is true. So is it a solution? Yes, it is a solution. Okay. Now we're going to get into last thing of the day. Super short lesson today. You're welcome. We're going to get into writing an equation. How do you set up an equation? And again, word problems. Everybody loves them, right? Don't let them freak you out. One step at a time. So this first one uses this picture that you're seeing. It says an art student wants to make a model of the Mayan Great Ball Court in, is that Chichen Itza? Chichen Itza? Anyone know how you say that? Is that right? The length of the court is 2.4 times its width. The length of the court is 2.4 times its width. The length of the student's model is 54. What should the width of the model be? So what I want you to focus on in this problem is how do you set up that equation? First of all, I think I've said this to you in the last week or two. What is? The word is typically in a math class?
Times.
Not times. Equals. Think about it. If I say x is 7, I'm saying x equals 7, right? So when you see is, not every time, you need to evaluate what it is you're looking at, but a lot of the time the word is equals, okay? So let's think about this. This is the sentence I want you to focus on. The length of the court is 2.4 times its width, okay? How could you write a math sentence from that?
54 divided by...
No, just from my pink square. How could you write just a math sentence from that?
L equals 2.4W.
Yes, the length of the court, we're going to call it L. I always do a cursive L so it doesn't look like a 1, okay? So cursive L is 2.4 times, you don't have to put the times, you can just put them next to each other if you want. So the length is 2.4 times the width, okay? It says the length of the student's model is 54. What do you do with that 54?
Divided by 2.
Just to write the equation. Plug it in for L, right? This says the length of a student's model is 54. This is substitution. Remember doing substitution at all? Have you done substitution at all? I would assume you've done a little bit of substituting. So if L is 54 and I know L equals 2.4W, then I take that 54 and I drop it in. 54 equals 2.4 times W. So when they ask you to write an equation to model that setup, this is what they're asking you for. This is your equation. Okay. Now, if they ask you to solve that equation, we're going to get into solving in chapter 2 a ton. So I don't really expect you to know the inverse operations process here fully, although you've probably seen it before. In an equation like this, you do inverse operations. What would the inverse operation? What is the opposite of 2.4 times W? What are you doing instead? You're dividing, right? So if you were going to solve this right now, which is not our focal point, but I'm going to show you what it would look like. So you have your equation, the blue. If you divided it, you just do that in your calculator, 54 divided by 2.4, it would be W equals 22.5, okay? So what should the width of the model be? It should be 22.5 inches. Good job. Word problems, make sure you label it. Okay. But honestly, right now, you guys, I'm more concerned that you can set it up. Give me that blue. Okay. Then if you don't know how to do inverse operations, what could you do to find W? Say you were like, I don't know how to solve that. Have you guessed and checked before? 2.5 times 20, 2.5 times 25. If you just plugged numbers in until you got to 54, you'd eventually get there. It's not the easiest, it's not the best, but it is an option. Okay, the second one then. I'm going to give you guys a minute to try this on your own. Please don't shout out the answer. I want you to try it first. Give this a go. It says the length of the ball court at La Venta is 14 times the height of its walls. Write an equation that can be used to find the height of a model that has a length of 49. They kept capitalizing things that didn't need to be capitalized because I hit enter. Should have fixed that. Okay, so see if you can set that up as an equation. And honestly, on these ones, you guys, I think it makes a whole lot of sense to draw a picture if you are a visual learner, right? If that helps you to see it, then draw a picture. See what it would look like. They probably should have told you that the court is a rectangle, but it's a ball court. Most are, right? All right, who wants to talk me through this? What'd you do?
So I got L equals, because the length is 14 times the wall, so I put L equals 14 times W, W. And then as right equation we used to find the height of a model. So, I messed up. I thought I said length.
Oh, you mixed up your length and height, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. Anybody else want to give it a go? Yeah, Katie.
I did the L equals 14 times H, and then I plugged in 49 for L, and then
Okay.
equals 14 times H, and then I solved it, and I got H equals 25.
Oh, I got that too. I just mixed the variables. I mixed up the variables.
Okay, so let's set it up. It says the length of the ball court is 14 times the height of the walls. So the length is 14 times the height. Write an equation that can be used to find the height of a model that has a length of 49 centimeters. So you did what with that 49?
Divide.
Right, the length of 49, so 49 equals 14 times H, and then divided, if you solved. This is your equation, right? What does that work out to? I don't have it in front of me. 3.5. So your height would be 3.5 centimeters. Your length would be what? Plug it in right here, right? 14 times 3.5. Ooh, 14 times 3.5 is 49. So that's how you can double check that you're where you want to be, right? They told you the length is 49. Your equation would be this. Your answers, if you were finding length and height, would be those. Okay, so setting up an equation. Questions on any of that? All right, that is it.